My Love of Life Energy is a podcast created by Anna Scott. Anna knows that every human being sees life uniquely. In this podcast, she will talk to people and learn from them. These conversations are to shine the brilliance of each human being she speaks to. Join her. After each exploration, you will expand on your insights and see truth and beauty.
Good morning and good afternoon, and welcome to my podcast, My Love of Life Energy. And today I'm with Molly Lynch, the co-founder of our company, Exquisite Being. And we're continuing our conversation today about harmonic relationships and the pillars, the parts that make up a harmonic relationship. And today, Molly and I are going to explore together about self-love. What is it? Why it's important in a relationship? And we'll see what we'll see. And so thank you, Molly. I'm thrilled to continue to do this.
Thanks, Anna. Yep, here we go. Pillar number something.
So self-love, what do you see about self-love?
Well, I believe, I sense, I feel it's really a starting place. As we were kind of talking about earlier, the place that it's like the center point in the heart and the experience of the connection to myself in this mystery, in this universe. But that's one thing I feel like we can all touch in on. What about you?
Oh, let me see. It's interesting. I have memories, and as I sit and get quiet, I start to feel the aliveness of the energy in me. And it's like a remembering that, oh, this energy is love. And then it's like, oh, well, if it's like a math problem. What I'm seeing a math problem right now, like a math formula, not a problem, but a math formula.
Right.
Here's this energy plus me equals me love or self-love. So like it's inherent in who I am.
So kind of like, because there is, like if there is, because there is, let's say, just universal love, that somehow the equation equals you, maybe equals myself. And that means that the availability or the default would be self-love somehow.
Yeah, that's it. That's the problem. Like that's
solve the problem, the math problem.
But what gets in the way of it? Like, what do you see gets in the way of, if this is the truth? Like for me, what people don't know is that you and I just sat for an hour before and had this deep personal conversation.
Yes.
And I can feel a quiet in me that has access to this energy. But what gets in the way of it?
Well, in the exploration, I came to, we were talking about our gene keys. So the one that I have in a couple of my, the spheres in my Venus sequence, which is essentially the love sequence, two of them are the 13th gene key, and the Siddhic frequency, which is the higher frequency of that sphere, is empathy. And as it goes, that empathy essentially is also something that we can offer ourselves, or I can offer myself empathy. And in that conversation and exploration, I really found that, and I'm getting to the point here, is that my own self-love is invoked by my awareness of my own maybe intrinsic value. And sometimes I sacrifice, let's say, that experience based on what I think other people are thinking about me. So then I say, well, I'm not lovable, or I shouldn't love myself because I'm not, because this person, and make up a story. And so the point is that I feel like we do have choice to love ourselves, but it's recognizing when I fall out of that experience. Does that make sense?
Yeah. How do you know when you're out of the experience
Well,
of love?
Hmm. Well, I feel a sense of it's like dislocation from myself. I'm heavy. My heart feels closed and stuck and not willing. And it's almost as if I've turned my back with my arms crossed toward myself.
Hmm. Hmm. You must have been a stubborn child.
I guess so. Not very. Yeah, it's taken a while. What about you? What's your experience of self-love or the opposite?
I think what um, one of my favorite words in life is kindness.
Mm.
And there's a new word that I see you and I integrating into our conversation, and it's gentleness, and that comes through the gene keys.
Mm-hmm.
Being gentle with myself or kind.
Right.
And it's funny, we were talking about the gene keys, and my SQ, which is the heart, is forgiveness and understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I'm understanding with myself and I can see the bigger picture, I feel more of that love and have more compassion or tenderness with myself.
Mm-hmm.
But if not, I'm intolerant, and it's like I can't. What happens is that we're discovering is that through the gene keys is that every human being has pain and fear in their body. It's part of the gig.
Right.
And when I start to feel that in my body rather than the love,
Mm.
my mind, my intellect kicks on, and I start telling stories, and I go external and look for what's wrong.
Mm.
And I get in my head of thought
Mm-hmm.
because I don't want to feel what I'm feeling.
Right. That's it.
And it's not the thought, it's that I don't want to feel the experience that I'm having. And so self-love to me is about can I be gentle with myself in what I'm experiencing and just be what it is without having it to be anything different than it is.
Right.
That to me is one dimension of self-love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Being present with yourself just the way you are.
Yeah.
Present in, like you said, the gentleness, like sort of having the wherewithal or the notion of bringing that in. I think that's such a sort of an important piece, like to notice, like you said, the thought, to notice where we're stuck, and then how, or implementing gentleness and kindness and compassion into that experience toward ourselves.
Yeah. The other thing that I'm seeing that is valuable in it is curiosity.
Mm.
When we were on the call this earlier, I was sharing you with my experience about my partner.
Mm-hmm.
And it was early in the morning, and he came in and said something, and I could feel my irritation.
Right.
And instead of being angry at him or angry at me, I got curious about, well, what is this irritation about?
Yeah.
And that became the doorway, and to be compassionate and tender and kind with myself about that irritation. I didn't make him wrong, nor did I make myself wrong. Okay, I did make him wrong for a second. That's a lie.
That's fair. That's fair. That happens. Right. Yeah. Because we can make evidence, like I was saying too. It's like we can make evidence to why we shouldn't love ourselves, or, we have so much proof in ourselves about those things. And I feel the more that I am aware that there is that energy of essentially like a kind of a betrayal, then I'm like, ooh, that's the sting. And when I feel the sting, what is the balm?
Oh, you know what I just saw, Molly? Is underneath the betrayal is another energy.
You want to say more about that?
Well, it's like a layer cake. It's the betrayal is easier to deal with than the energy that's underneath it. Like the betrayal is actually an act of self-love.
How's that? How do you see that?
The way that I see it based on our earlier conversation is that the pain that's underneath the betrayal is bigger than the betrayal.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So it's a way of loving yourself to be able to be with, like all of us, to be able to be with the pain level that we can be in.
Right. So it's not just the pain of the betrayal, it's the pain itself.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes up in different ways and different forms. And essentially, it's like we also spoke about at that point of either collapse or closing the heart to another, to ourselves, and closing to love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, what's the benefit? Like, why do we see that self-love is so important in relationships with another?
Well, I believe that, in my own relationship, in my marriage, it's like if I'm feeling, let's just say, feeling really good about myself, I have a self-esteem, I have a sense of self-love and self-worth, if I'm really built up in that energy, which, oftentimes I am, I fall oftentimes too, but I feel like that keeps my heart open, and it allows the reciprocity of love. Like if in relationship I'm open, there's more of an openness to be experienced with the other. Like my heart is open to her in that way. And I'm excited about that love, and I'm excited about receiving it, because there is something in self-love. It's like, if I am love, let's just say, let's boil it. Like if I am love, then that's the experience that I want to be having with another. There's something about that. I don't know if I'm articulating it well enough, but there's a
Well, what
reciprocity.
I just saw, if I do believe we are made of love, and I am love, and everybody else is. I used to be in an abusive relationship, and I looked for love outside of me to validate me. And I remember when I realized, oh, I'm love, I don't need anybody's love, because I'm like a geyser that's complete. But what happens is when I know that, and I get to share my love, and somebody else knows that, then there's like the two fields to come together, and it's richer.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And there's that reflection too, that, sometimes if I forget that I'm love or loved or worthy of, and my partner is loving up on me and sharing words of, appreciation. And if it's like I can receive that, I think I just said this similarly. There's something about being able to receive it. If my heart is closed because I don't think I'm worthy or I have shame around it, then it causes issue. It could cause discord and conflict because you can't deny it. We can't deny love too long without having maybe some more challenge than usual, perhaps. So it's advantageous to really nurture and be gentle with and kind to ourselves.
When I was a new mom,
Mm.
some woman on the street stopped me and she said to me, you are the world. You need to take care of yourself because you've got to take care of this child.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about that in relationships, that the more I take care of myself and love myself, the more generous I can be with other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it has to start with me.
Yeah.
Inside of me.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I'll be kind of, transparent here. Yesterday, I had this moment in the morning where I just felt like something was off in my relationship. Like I was trying to find out if I had done something. I was projecting, I was externalizing all that, but it really was like about what do I need to do to just feel a sense of connection to myself, like I was looking externally into my relationship. So as soon as I started to notice that, and she let me know that, sometimes mine is mine and hers is hers. That's just how it is. And so to recognize that, and what can I do then to give myself a sense of peace without having to look outward? And that I think is really what you said, and what I'm saying is so essential. Like, what is the one thing in this moment that I can do to love myself, like you would say, like 1% more? And I think 1% is a huge percentage in the field. I think it's multiplied by thousands if we can just take a moment and put a drop of that into our, frequency.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of it's funny in that we talk about the gene keys. I'm just beginning to see a new, like the attractor field, but where souls came in here to learn.
Mm.
And mine's remembering.
Mm.
And it's to remember that I'm made of love and I am loved.
Mm. Mm.
And what that feels like. Can I remember what it feels like when I feel love kind of pouring through me?
Mm-hmm.
And not that my ego has to do something, and it can get us to the doorway. And like you and I have sat together and we drop into this feeling of love.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when you feel it, what do you notice that you feel?
Well, it's an openness, it's an expansion. And it is that what we also spoke of, this feeling of a universal love. It's almost like non-specific, but specific. It's like the point of love as an inclusive to all things and all space and all time.
What do you feel in your body?
Relaxation, sort of a buzz of aliveness, like it's like I'm plugged in to life, to the energy of life. And I get excited, like there's a feeling of, it's like joy, dare I say, but it's sort of an ecstatic buzz, and it's not I don't know what I said.
An ecstatic buzz, and I could feel it
Mm-hmm. And the just the shift, just the shift of noticing that. Am I plugged in? Am I not? That's it. It's sort of this subtle consciousness.
Well, I think it's remembering. Like for me, when I sit here and I'm kind of feeling it right now,
Mm-hmm.
like, what does this feel like?
Mm.
Like, I feel like I'm on top of a mountain and there's a clear, still lake
Mm.
that's crisp and birds are flying over. I feel expansive.
Yeah.
It's so peaceful and so full. Oh,
Mm.
that's what's different
Mm.
is I feel full and
Mm.
whole.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, that's new.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm.
And what's amazing to think is that this is always here.
Right.
We don't have to go outside and look for it. We don't have to work hard for it.
Yeah.
We have to remember it and see it.
It's like the slowing down and sitting down on that mountain.
Yeah.
And we're always running around looking for love.
Yeah.
I'm saying we in a really general way, you know what I mean? It's like we're running around looking for love to fill this emptiness that doesn't feel full. But what you're saying is like you just can't like tune in,
Yeah.
stop, sit down. And I will say, we're doing this interview with our eyes closed. Like we are. I mean, my eyes are closed. I'm pretty sure your eyes, but it's the closing of the eyes. It's the internal gaze. It's the noticing the heart. And as we speak of it, even the frequency to me feels like it's rising or opening or available because we are present with that.
Mm-hmm. It's so beautiful.
It is.
It's so simple.
Oh my gosh. So simple.
Mm.
Hmm.
Well, I think that's our exploration of love, and this is what we would love. We want to share this with other people. We want other people to have a harmonic relationship with themselves and
Yeah.
others.
Yeah.
That's our wish.
It is our wish.
So with that, thank you, Molly. And if people are interested, they can check out our website, www.exquisitebeing.com. They can email us, Anna@exquisitebeing.com or Molly@exquisitebeing.com. And you can inquire about what it might be like to work with us. We're doing gene key profiles that help people walk through their genius, their love, and their prosperity.
Amen to
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah. Thank you, Anna.